Lord, I already recorded.
So we're here today with our dear friend Lo from Wrestle Winedown. Welcome back, Lo. Well, actually, never. Well, yeah, we have had her on the show, right?
We've been on her show.
No, this is my first time.
We've been on
yeah, that's right. We were on your show. Okay,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. This is why I'm not in charge of things. Welcome to the show. Welcome. We're so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we can't wait to talk about it. So I'll put some feelers out there to get some people for our Road to WrestleMania series, where we're asking what your favorite moments were for any WrestleMania. And you wanted to talk about celebrity appearances, which is there's so many people who've been.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot. But first, let's talk. We've been on your show. What is your show?
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling Winedown, a little bit.
Yes, so Wrestling Winedown is a female-founded and hosted podcast where we talk about professional wrestling and wine. So the show started in 2019. I founded it with a friend of mine that I went to college with. And then over the last year, it has just been me hosting and running the show. And I bring in co-hosts every week or every time I do an episode. And we just, sip some wine and spill it and talk about wrestling.
Yeah,
it's a good time. It's if you have
a good combination. It's a good combination.
I agree.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think. Amelia, So this when we were on your show for the Royal Rumble, it technically kind of started this idea for this whole thing of getting people together, and I was like, what if I just get different people on every week? And then it just kind of spiraled from there. So you're technically the inspiration.
I'm technically a trendsetter.
You are.
Joking. I'm just joking.
No big deal.
I mean, when she said it, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, let's do it. We just like talking to people about wrestling.
Right.
About wrestling, so I'm excited.
I just wanted to tell you that because
thank you.
We met a lot of cool people, so thank you. But yeah, celebrities at Mania, and the first one that popped into Amelia and I's head was Snooki. So, did you watch it, or were you watching? Have you seen it? Thoughts?
Yes. So during that time, I was still watching wrestling, and I feel like that was either like right after Jersey Shore was really big or like during it, because we really didn't expect to see Snooki wrestle, and I think she did a pretty good job for not really having a background in wrestling. She does do gymnastics, which you're probably like, how do I know that? I used to love Snooki. Like we talked about before we got on here to record, like I dressed up as Snooki before, and Alicia is dressed up as Snooki. So I mean, there was just a time where everyone was watching Jersey Shore, and I think that was one good way that WWE capitalized on the popularity, even though that show was mainly for like adults. And I think at that time WWE was moving towards like a PG era, but Trish Stratus was in that match. Who else was in that match? John Morrison was in that match.
And then they wrestled Lay Cool and
Dolph.
I think it's Dolph.
Yeah.
My faves. And Michelle McCool.
Yeah, and then Michelle McCool.
But
Honestly,
I love Layla.
Yeah, Layla is great, but Snooki surprised the heck out of me. I was already like, I liked Jersey Shore. I got sucked into the trash television of it all, and I was like, this is stupid. I can't stop watching. But but then when they were like Snooki, I was like, Snooki, what is she gonna do? And then the lead up to it was like, she's gonna be in the match. What? And it was, I was told like, yeah, she has a gymnastic background, so does Morrison. Like, she could kill it, and don't judge her yet. And like, come the match, and I was like, oh my god, she was amazing. No one had to carry her. She did fine on her own. She was just like, I got it. Listen, I got it.
Wasn't that during the time where Impact or TNA they had those characters? It was like Robbie E, and it was someone else where they had their whole Jersey Shore gimmick. Oh yes, it was Cookie. Yes.
And then later TNA tried to do a Snooki thing, but they got Angelina.
Yeah, I remember that.
They did get JWoww. They got JWoww at one point.
I think they got JWoww once.
Yeah.
Or like a couple times, but
yeah. The Jersey Shore people had some pull.
But what's interesting?
They pulled an eyes.
Now Robbie E is Robert Stone.
He is.
Mhm.
We all grow. He is businessman.
We're happy for him. We're happy for him.
I do love the Robert Stone brand.
Me too. I do too. It's well done. It's well done.
All those Jersey kids become business people, like Snooki. Look at her now. So, but that crowd like was like boo, and then they saw her and they're like, wait, like all of us, just you could see the shift. Like, do you remember that crowd?
Yeah, but I think WWE's audience, like, it makes sense. I think WWE brought them in thinking, or brought her in, I should say, thinking that she would be popular, but the demographics are different with MTV versus WWE. But I think with WrestleMania being such a spectacle, I think they were able to capture a lot of people's attention. And then her knowing actually how to wrestle and do some moves, I think that shocked a lot of people.
Yeah. Shocked me. I was impressed. Big time. I was like, wow.
Yeah, the group I was with that time, we had like a party, and I remember everybody was like, this is gonna be so stupid, and I was like, no, this is gonna be amazing. It's like, again, I think I don't know what year it is. I think I'm like in my early 20s, and I was like, you guys, she's small like me, and she's teaming with my favorites. This is gonna be amazing. Trish and Morgan. So I was so hyped, and everybody's like, you're dumb, and I was like, no, I love this.
But celebrities like for WWE, like from WrestleMania 1, had just like, when you look back and you try to equate it with the celebrity power that they had, it'd be like right now if we had who would be the Cyndi Lauper, like Cyndi Lauper was huge, and Liberace
showed up.
Liberace showed up, Muhammad Ali, like the star power was strong for the first WrestleMania. So, the WrestleManias up and down have, had really great ones and not so great ones.
Don't talk about WrestleMania 23.
Who should not be named in this podcast.
Do you have a particular favorite that like really stood out for you? Or, like that was a really good appearance.
It could be a performer too, like someone you're like, oh snap, like they're cool. Like I really love, I mean, there's like a ton of people who've done America the Beautiful and just hosted.
I think they had a lot of good stars, like in the 90s, the early 2000s. Like they had Lil Richard. They had who else did they have? They had
Aretha Franklin. I think she
had Aretha Franklin.
I think they said like 3 times or twice or multiple times they had her. Actually,
yeah. So I mean, WWE did better, I think, in those times with performers, and then I feel like they almost got lazy, and they were like, let's just book Kid Rock and Flo Rida for the next 10 years because we don't know what our demographic like.
Oh my God. Flo Rida has been responsible for some of my favorite WrestleMania themes.
Welcome to my house. Oh no.
Infectious, where I'm like, why am I looking for this on Spotify? No, he did it. Oh, I'm so mad.
I just feel like for the longest time, WWE, in terms of like music performances and bringing superstars in, they really couldn't read the room, and they really couldn't understand their audience. That's why I was really shocked this year when they decided to bring Bad Bunny in, that they actually did it, because the conversation was had months before Bad Bunny was brought in about, the whole Booker T music video. And we're like, okay, you have Booker T in the music video. Why don't you get Bad Bunny in there? And everyone's like, no, WWE loves Kid Rock and they love Flo Rida and they love these, smaller bands. They're not going to bring in someone like Bad Bunny. And then all of a sudden, here's Bad Bunny performing at the Royal Rumble. The thing is, Bad Bunny has like 58 or like 60 plus million listens on streaming platforms. And there's still people out there saying, who is Bad Bunny?
Yeah.
Google it.
That's true.
Yeah. It's so WWE of them to be like, well, I don't know who they're, so they're not popular. You're still listening to Kid Rock. Like
it even comes down to like, just putting Bad Bunny out there reminds me of like, like letting Naomi take the room, and she brought in so many new fans. People were like, Black Girl Magic. Who is this person? I want to be her fan now. And it just kind of happened. Like they sometimes do hurt themselves in being stuck in their old ways. And like you said, like at the beginning, they had amazing, like top tier celebrities there. And I think they got stuck. And this is what works for us. This is the business. This is what the business is. We know the business. You guys don't know the business. And then we got stale with like Kid Rock and stuff.
Right.
And it's like, it's just, they do need newness to it. The world is not what it used to be. You know, good wrestlers are small. Good wrestlers are women. And like good musicians and artists are people of color and queer. And it's okay to put them in a spotlight. You know, I think they're slowly but surely getting there, little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Bad Bunny though. Like he's taking his title to SNL. He's gonna go to the Grammys. He's gonna show that off. You know he is at the Grammys, the red carpet. He's gonna be like, "It's my."
Yep, it's good exposure.
So it's so good for them to be like. I saw like a BuzzFeed article that was like, "What was this belt that Bad Bunny had?" And then people are gonna be like, "Oh, what's that?" And then
can I buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even just Sasha being on The Mandalorian too was like, you know, she was not discovered through WWE, but rather, you know, through Hot Tape, or was it Hot Ones? Yeah, it's like Hot Ones. That's right. And she did great on the show. And then they were like, "Oh, who is this person?" You know, it just puts more eyes on the product. It's all good. They shouldn't just strangle it to death and be like, "We know what's best." And I think they're starting to kind of let go little by little,
That's the point of a celebrity even being at WrestleMania. That's why they had Liberace and Cyndi Lauper to be like, put your eyes on it. You want to put who's cool. And then if not, then it's like POD was on there one time. And I was like...
POD was big in like 2006, okay? SmackDown versus Raw 2006 was lit because Addicted by POD was on their soundtrack.
They did remix, they did do Ray's theme song, so that's what they did live. I remember this. But they would still be having POD like now if they really wanted to. And it's like not cute. I mean, they did try though. They had Kim Kardashian in 2008. She hosted it.
I feel like NXT was
another
doing
phase,
really fun
stuff.
NXT was doing fun stuff with entrances though for a minute. It's kind of they've kind of pulled back. Yeah, Poppy, Shinsuke's entrances. I marched so hard for Shinsuke when he came to WWE because that entrance was fire.
And what's her name? Oh my gosh, that sounds so mean for me. What's her name? The guitarist that they had do his entrance.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name because
I know
so
who you're talking about too.
Sarah Rochelle Winedown.
I'm so sorry. Bad enough.
We were going down the list though of all the people who have been there, and I said, "Oh, JTT," and Summer was like, "Oh my god!"
Apparently, JTT was on WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
My light just went out.
At the thought of JTT, your light just went out. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, apparently.
He interacted with Bob Backlund because Bob Backlund was like, "The kids don't know anything these days." It was JTT.
Wow, I need to go back and watch that.
It was cute.
Before I was watching wrestling, but that
my gosh.
That would have got me into wrestling. I would have been like, "Excuse me, Jonathan Taylor Thomas is on wrestling? What's this?"
And he had the long little bowl cut, you know, prime home improvement days.
Oh, I am an old millennial. I love a man in a bowl cut.
Oh my god.
Give me a blonde bowl cut. That was a look. I'm old.
In watching and like doing some extra research, I didn't realize that Pee Wee Herman had been there. And it's older Pee Wee Herman, like comeback Pee Wee Herman. And that was a fun interaction with The Rock. So that was a fun one that I really, because I love Pee Wee Herman. And so it was like, oh,
That's not the time Lita interacted him. That was a Raw, right? Because Lita loves.
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was a Raw.
Yeah, the moments leading up to.
We've seen a lot of like Floyd Mayweather involved. Mm-hmm. We've seen other athletes involved too. Like
Mike Tyson.
I don't think Mike Tyson. Yeah, well, yeah, he was at WrestleMania. And then we've seen like Shaquille O'Neal and Mayweather, and then like Mike Tyson. Like some of this stuff, I think WWE like they did know what they were doing. Like having Mike Tyson in there with Stone Cold was absolutely epic. You still see people talk about that moment to this day, but there's other ones like Floyd Mayweather, like Shaquille O'Neal, that aren't recognized in history. And it almost makes you wonder, well, why? I mean, Floyd Mayweather is a huge name in the boxing world, but his impact in the WWE just wasn't as grand and memorable as someone like Mike Tyson. Right. And then you also think about Shaquille O'Neal, like
they put Shaq in the
star
Battle
power
Royal,
is big.
They kind of misplaced Shaq. They put him in that Battle Royal. And then it was like, okay, Shaq was in the Battle Royal. It's not like when they did.
Mayweather may have pissed people off because he hurt Big Show. He like broke his nose. You know, so they're probably like, that's a no-no. That's a no-no here, you know. So he probably, he's not going to get any love from them.
And even Gronk. I mean, look at Gronk. Yeah. He was in the audience, and then years later, he's 24/7 champion. Like,
I mean, to be honest, he had the best time last year.
He had a great time. He was having a good time.
That's all you can.
I have nothing to say about him.
I know. No comment. That's why I was trying to be positive. That's why I was like, he had fun.
He had a good time. Not us. We did it. But he did.
He was happy to be there.
I mean, he had fun, but it was very like he was hosting like the VMA, as it almost came across. Like, hi, I'm back at WrestleMania. I'm Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. By the way, I'm about to win a 24/7 championship, and then I'm gonna dip right after.
We love to see that. No, we don't. We don't want that as fans. I was thinking about like my favorite musical acts that have like come, because what I love a good WrestleMania moment when a band is actually playing to someone coming out. So obviously, iconically, we have Motorhead who do Triple H's theme song because he's such a huge fan, and he always has to have an epic entrance. So those have been
time to play the game.
Yes.
And I am not a Triple H fan, but I am a Triple H fan. I will mark out hard for Triple H, even though I will talk so much trash about him. I mark out hard, like it is time to play the
game. He has 3.
Like I hate myself afterwards. Like,
they're all good.
I mean, and it's all good every time. So epic, Kings, so cool.
The Game, Evolution. Well, I mean,
it's a mystery.
Well, DX isn't.
The DX band played. They did a full.
That was a good one.
I do remember that.
That was a good one.
That was fun. Yeah.
Full rap. Speaking of rap, Limp Bizkit.
No, I'm sorry. That's WWE's favorite band.
Limp Bizkit.
It has been. It is literally stated in WrestleMania 19. WWE's favorite band. Her face.
Limp Bizkit.
There's the thumbnail.
Limp Bizkit. My personal favorite though was when Living Color played CM Punk out. That was sick because it was so good. Oh, that was like prime CM Punk time. It was at his peak. It was at his peak, and I was like losing my mind for it.
Peak clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
Okay,
I loved it.
Joan Jett came out for Ronda. Ronda got Joan Jett. That was pretty cool.
That was
a good one.
Cool.
I was really tired, but that was cool. We're all like,
man.
It's midnight.
Honestly, we were so excited to have like a main event for women and like co-main event or whatever. But by the time it got there, we were so tired.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just want to know how long Charlotte Flair was in that helicopter just waiting to arrive at the arena. I mean, maybe they pre-taped it. I don't know. But like, if she had been there that long, damn, was she asleep?
She could have. She could have napped. Yeah.
She probably took a full nap. She fully napped. That's why she could wrestle. She was fully just like, what are those standing
She was
naps?
rested.
So she won't mess up the hair.
Right.
Can't mess up that hair. She's the queen.
She is the queen. It only messes up at the end of the match where she looks bedraggled and
yes,
she's been through
that happens to Becky too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sasha, all of the 4 horsewomen.
Don't talk about my
disheveled.
girl Sasha.
No. I mean that in the best way. She been through war.
I like that one entrance when she came in. Was it? No, it was not with Snoop.
Snoop.
It was like
Yes, Snoop. Remember when Snoop had the golf cart with all the divas on it?
Yes, I do. That was
we love Snoop.
Wait, but he also kissed Maria at the end for the Playboy whatever tag match of that year.
Oh, I do remember that. That was weird because we all know Snoop's married.
That was real weird.
Happily so.
It was just
Sasha had like a crown one time and it was so gorgeous, and I just was like appreciating the look going down the ring, and I was like, yes, queen, serve it to us. We're not worthy. And then like as soon as she got to the ring, I was like, well, this is sad because it's not gonna look like that later at all. That's not gonna look good later. But she looks cute now.
Always. We do not slander her name here, okay?
The 90s also gave us Pam Anderson and Jenny McCarthy. But also looking back, and this is like, HLA era, when they had like the Miller girl, the cat fight girls. And they saw Tori and
that is far past my time. I do not know about that.
I'm so sorry.
I do know about Pam Anderson because I remember watching that.
Yeah, it's a dark time in history for women. But
I do not remember that, but I remember Shawn Michaels and Kevin Jesus Christ, I'm aging myself. Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash, did those two compete for Pam Anderson to have her walk down to the ring in the way that they were like, Pam Anderson has entered the building, and she gets out the limo there. Pam Anderson has arrived.
She was a trophy. She was, oh my God.
Right.
That's where we came from.
But TBH, the 90s Pam Anderson was a babe.
It's true. She really was.
That was prime time for her.
That was her prime. Her peak.
Baywatch.
Her peak. Her peak.
Again, I think WWE had their finger on the pulse right there. They knew what their fans wanted to see. Now, back then in the 90s, it was typically all guys that were watching wrestling for the most part. And of course, they wanted to see Pam Anderson on TV. So I think in terms of reading their audience, like they did a good job there. But like, could you imagine them doing that shit now?
Oh God, no. I mean,
who's gonna fight for Ariana Grande? Like what?
I don't know.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. No. Oh no. Oh no. You know it's gonna be Angel Garza fighting for that.
Angel Garza.
No, he is not gonna fight for Rihanna.
He would try.
He better keep that stale ass rose.
He would try it.
No. Oh, he's happily married.
He is.
I'm really glad we're past that. The era of chauvinism and objectifying women. They're objectified, but not as like hardcore as it was before. Right. There was actual hot lesbian action sequences of some sort. So I'm really glad we've graduated.
Honestly, like I think WWE tried that a little bit ago when they had Liv Morgan and Lana, that whole thing, and then they realized like, oh shit, we can't do that anymore. So they just completely stopped the storyline. But I think sometimes I almost wonder who's writing the stuff, because you have to wonder, is it someone that did work during that time or someone that was a fan during that time and they thought, what if we did this storyline? But the world that we are in right now, which would have been 2020 then or 2019, the fans don't want that. Like that, it's read the room.
Even it's just like the cringe factor of Corey Graves like salivating over Mandy Rose. Nobody wants to hear it. Like if you're on Twitter, people are like, turn his mic off. We don't want to hear that. It's like,
he doesn't even do that for Carmella. He is with Carmella. He does not do that with her.
No, he's just hello. He's like, yeah, she looks great. And
or he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
They're like, we shut his mic off. Finally.
For the best.
Yeah. I hope they're reading the room a little bit better, that we're just over objectifying women, and we care about them. Yes, they're gorgeous. Yes, they have amazing bodies, but like, let them perform, let them work the ring, you know?
Well, I think when they bring like Jerry the King Lawler back for different matches, like didn't he commentate the Royal Rumble this year, the women's Royal Rumble? And I was sitting there in my living room and they're like, and our special commentator, Jerry the King Lawler. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, we have literally told you multiple times, like, he does not need to be on commentary. If you go back and you watch any WrestleMania or any Raw for that matter in the past, here he is objectifying women. Here he is saying inappropriate stuff. Don't get me started on JBL, because if y'all go back and watch like SmackDown from like 2005 to like 2007, I cannot believe the stuff that he was saying on television, and they let it fly.
The cringe is really strong there. It's like, ugh, you can't go back. Don't make us go back. Please don't make us go back. I'm scared.
I was too.
I'm
big
in
old
danger.
texting. No, thank you. It was. I'm in the back of it. I'm scared.
Stop giving me advice about money.
No.
Anyway.
Celebrities. Hey, we've stopped just packing them all down a ramp with Kid Rock. We've stopped that for a battle royal that a man's going to win. We've stopped that. And I appreciate that.
So let me ask you guys this. So recently we've seen in the wrestling world that it seems as though wrestlers have an interest in being professional wrestlers at this point. We've seen Bow Wow, who recently stated that he wants to be a WWE wrestler. He's been training with a legend in Rikishi, who is a part of the Anoa'i, and I think that's how you say it, dynasty. So, you know, the likes of Roman Reigns, The Rock, the Usos, etc., is training Bow Wow. Okay, so that was seen as a little bit like controversial, but then Soulja Boy, who I guess turned his swag on and got on Twitter, said that he thinks that WWE is fake, and that offended Randy Orton, and him and Randy Orton have been going back and forth, and Randy Orton is out here looking racist, and Soulja Boy doesn't appreciate it, etc. What are your guys' thoughts on these younger rappers like Soulja Boy and Bow Wow, who I don't think they might be over the age of 30 by just like a little bit, but how do you feel about that? Do you think that they have a future in the company if they're saying stuff like this, or do you think that it's just for show?
Attention seeking, I think, for sure.
Bad
for
Bunny's
sure.
impact.
They're not relevant anymore. Their relevance is faded. Yeah. And it's Bad Bunny's impact where they're like, well, he's cool. Kids like him. The youth are into him. Gen Z is like eating this up. We need to be relevant again. And that's what it feels like. They're just like really grasping at relevance right now. And it's like, it's not going to work. What do you think?
No, I don't think. If you want to, great. If you're acting, I mean, he's Bow Wow's training with Rikishi. If you're gonna do it, then okay, sure. But Soulja Boy, whatever. That's weird.
Right.
Okay, you're just talking now.
It is weird.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, like you said, I think if he's training, like, he might be a little bit more serious than someone like Soulja Boy, who just has like Twitter fingers. He isn't really about to get in the ring. Like, he's on his Twitch saying that he's gonna smack the shit out of Randy Orton, but are you really gonna do it? Him and his little leather thong? Are you really going to slap him, or are you just saying it?
It's just it's all talk.
I don't want to be him right now.
That's real.
Out of nowhere. Has he not heard of Out of Nowhere? RKO out of nowhere.
Oh no.
And thinking about what you guys said, for sure it's like a relevancy thing, maybe for Soulja Boy. For Bow Wow, maybe you're right. Like, he is taking the time to train. It's kind of like I really never liked Eva Marie because I never thought she really cared about being a wrestler. But I see like she's putting in the time and really cutting her teeth, like, to be a wrestler. You know, she never gave up on it. She's still doing it. And so like, you know, Bow Wow taking the initiative to actually train and try. And he's got the money to do it, you know.
Right.
It's an effort.
That's what I respect. Like Bad Bunny, I respect. You're putting in you do it just like, okay, hey, bye. You know. Or like the weird bachelor
I
girl.
don't necessarily think Which weird bachelor girl?
Remember, she kept coming hanging out in the Thunderdome with Angel Garza, that blonde girl.
I didn't pay attention to her.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She just like popped up for a paycheck. I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Do you think now that Bad Bunny is in the WWE, have they mentioned a theme song for WWE's WrestleMania, this upcoming WrestleMania? Like, it would make the most sense to have Bad Bunny do the song. I mean, yeah, he performed at Royal Rumble, but you have this superstar who is literally right there. You could literally have him perform and then come down to the ring and wrestle.
Somebody attacks him during his performance.
Maybe we'll get Flo Rida in Florida.
Florida.
He sneaks up on the ship. Isn't there a ship in that stadium? He's gonna pop up.
Welcome to my ship.
Oh no. I hate
it. Honestly, I probably am gonna eat it up and love it.
I say that now. I'm all like, no, it's gonna happen, and be like, yes.
I think they definitely need to bring in someone that is youthful. I mean, you are bringing in a superstar like Bad Bunny to do a storyline. You need to have a performer that embodies that same thing. So, I mean, I don't see Vince McMahon calling up Billie Eilish in the middle of the night to ask her to perform at WrestleMania. No. But I think there's definitely it would be very great. I think there's other people out there that they can get that still match their style that they're going for, but not be Kid Rock or Limp Bizkit or someone that they've had in the past.
If anything, it's like AEW would do something like that, because they're just like taking all the old stuff and trying to make it new for them. No, hey, I just like, come on, man, like, let's see some new stuff. Like, why? So I hope that with WrestleMania 2021, I really am not setting an expectation like for celebrity wise, but Bad Bunny has to be there for sure. Bad Bunny.
He's gonna have a match. No, he's having a match. Him and Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Weird combo, but okay.
His best pal. It really because if anything, Damian Priest does like embody like Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit in a weird way, like a Hot Topic way, you know. It's like, ugh.
He has a Hot Topic way. Oof.
No, I like Damian Priest, so I definitely don't see that. I feel like Damian Priest is very like Hot Topic.
Yeah,
like Hot Topic meets Guess. I wouldn't say Kid Rock.
Now, not Kid Rock.
Not Kid Rock. No, he listens to something better than that. He maybe listens to Limp Bizkit still, but it's like on his workout playlist, you know?
Like, yeah, I'm going to break something.
Sorry, I'm
interesting to see who we have as celebrity.
It's hard in COVID too. And remember they had the thing with Cardi. They could have had it right there with Cardi and Bad Bunny. There you go. And then they just let that just go.
We'll see, though. I'm holding out hope. I don't like to go into things too negative.
I think Lacey Evans really messed up the opportunity for a Cardi B partnership with the WWE. I think she got on Twitter, she ran her mouth a little bit too much, and I think it put a bad taste in Cardi B's mouth. Now, I might be wrong. Cardi B might pop up in Miami talking about, I don't know, Up. That's a recent song. She might say, "What's up? I'm on this ship." I don't know. But I mean, I think they had a great opportunity with Cardi that night, tweeting all about WWE. Like that, like she's literally handing herself to you on a platter. If I was a marketing manager or a PR consultant with the WWE, I would have quickly DM'd her or called her or something. You know what I mean? And you get your talent in there tweeting her, and then you got Lacey Evans saying whatever. She should be more concerned about her sugar baby relationship with Ric Flair at that time, but she was not. Right. But she's over here tweeting Cardi, and I think that really ruined it.
Probably. I feel like Tony Khan would have been like, if she had eyes on AEW and Tony Khan saw that, he'd be like, Cardi, come on over, Cardi. Come on. What do we got to do to get you here, Cardi? He would have done it, but like, WWE is not going to do that.
This is so unrelated to like celebrities, but I would love to know Tony Khan's not tactic, but like his way to persuade wrestlers to sign with AEW, because I feel like it's very much like how high school football players go to different colleges to try and get recruited, and they get like the dinner, they get the party, they get the hotel room. I feel like that's Tony Khan.
Mm-hmm. He woos them.
I feel like he's like, right.
Yes, he woos them.
He really does. He's like, oh, your match at this thing, and that, because everybody says like he knows everything. So he's like, yeah, that one time and blah blah blah, and they're like, oh, you remember that? Oh, you make me feel special. I thought you forgot about that. And then he gives us some White Claws, and then it's done.
Next thing you know, you're signing papers.
That's how we're gonna get signed to AEW. White Claws.
I mean, his interview with Renee Paquette was very like, evident, like that he's very charming. He's very charming. He's personable. If he could get like John Moxley to be like one of his best dudes, his best friends, it's kind of see. So he's really persuasive, probably too. Just a genuine guy that people are like, I feel like this might be real. I feel like this might be real. I don't think he's pulling my leg. Yeah, he's a big fan.
Right.
He's just a rich nerd who gets to like have a wrestling company. He's
really is. And WWE could be doing the same thing, pulling in some young eyes if they would just let go of the past a little bit.
So we need in a fantasy world, who would be your dream celebrity at WrestleMania? Or plural?
I would love to see Megan Thee Stallion, but I don't think that's happening in this lifetime. I think Megan Thee Stallion would be good because, first of all, she already looks like she's ready to compete. So if Lacey Evans comes up in here, smacking her gums, Megan Thee Stallion will handle it. She'll be ready to go.
Oh my God.
I think she could do some great stuff with some of the women on the roster. And again, she is a mainstream star that would bring a lot of eyes to the WWE. I think Cardi would be a great one as well. Bringing in those female musicians are what's important. I think WWE has done a great job at bringing in male musicians. You look at Bad Bunny, you look at all the other people that we've talked about, but how many of those people, those musicians that we've named off, have been women? I can only think of two, Joan Jett and Poppy. I mean, those, and Joan Jett is a huge name, but Poppy is a smaller, unknown name to most people. Yeah. So I think WWE really needs to take a closer look and think, how can we think about our female fans or our male fans that like female musicians, and create a performance or bring a musician in who caters to that need.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, the thought of Cardi at like WrestleMania was like, oh yeah, because she's like, I loved this person, and like she's like naming people off, and you're like, okay, Cardi, I see you. That'd be cute if you were on wrestling. Like, okay, I want to see Cardi and Naomi. I want to see Megan Thee Stallion and Naomi. Mm-hmm. That's just a lot of booty. I can't handle that though. I don't know if the world can handle that.
Please. I'm begging. I need it on my television.
Too much.
Oh man, you know what? I didn't even realize that, but you're right. The lack of like representation of women in the performance aspect. It's true. Like, there's no reason to not have. There've been some amazing performers from the 90s, the 80s. I mean, Cyndi Lauper, I guess, was their first one, and like one of the last.
She didn't even perform. She just hung out with.
I mean, you've had like Patti LaBelle, like you've had, like you've had women in there, but like recently, I'm talking about like recently. Can you think of anyone other than those two who have come to perform? I mean, we've had Kim Kardashian host, but that's like not a musician. So,
no. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Damn. We demand better. We demand better.
I do demand better.
We are a huge part of the population. Give us what we want. Like Batista. Give me
Batista
what I
GIF. My most overused GIF.
used it today. Not gonna lie, I used it today in conversation.
It's good. It's really universal. Good quality. But like,
oh man. What about you, Al? What's like a dream celebrity appearance that if you could choose right now and book 2021, who are you bringing
2021?
to
Oh, I was thinking of WrestleMania Goes Hollywood when we go.
Ooh.
I mean, just because of me, it's just old and everyone to be like, they're old. I just want Guns N' Roses out there because it is a vibe for
my God.
But
Al,
also,
you are shameless.
or Motley Crue for Dolph. Oh my God, could you imagine?
I mean, it is out. It would be LA. It would be perfect. It would be perfect.
It would be perfect, and that's my vibe because I'm middle aged, but inside. But I was also thinking while you're talking about like cool young girls, I was like, what about like Miley? Miley has this like total like rocker vibe right now. She's like. And I like it. I'm into Miley. Like she could throw down with somebody. I feel like it's scrappy.
I feel like she could, but I also think about like she's done like covers recently. She's had some songs, but I don't know. I feel like Miley Cyrus wouldn't bring in the amount of attention that WWE requires at this point. Like, yeah. I feel like Vince McMahon will literally bring in Adele because she has had so many fans and she's been on SNL recently and stuff like that. Like, whoever is like searching for talent, I feel like they know where to look, but whoever books the talent is like not the same person.
Yeah. Well, everything goes through McMahon. Everything goes through Vince. Ultimately, he is saying the yay or nay for everything. Right.
I want to know his whole feelings on Bad Bunny.
I'm sure they have great ideas. I know. Somebody lied to him, and he was like, "Wait a minute, this isn't Bad Bunny." Oh shit!
Wait, I thought you said Bugs Bunny.
I thought this was Space Jam.
He thought it was Space Jam, darn it. I mean, I guess, yeah. Good times.
I don't know, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Amelia, who would you like at WrestleMania?
I guess. Oh my gosh. My WrestleMania, nobody would watch. I mean, have like obscure ass celebrities.
My favorite.
I mean, I would try to get like the Mandalorian there. The child Grogu somehow
Sasha can probably get that. Sasha got that.
Probably, yeah.
She's got the in on that. They just escort her to the ring and be like, losing my mind. I'd like have Charlie XCX performing like just crazy. My WrestleMania is weird.
It's very indie pop, very your vibe. It's Carly Rae Jepsen there as well.
Carly Rae Jepsen is there as well.
Into it.
I would like to see, I mean, I guess Bailey's song is different now, but when she had her cute, like Bailey the Hugger song, I would have liked to see an actual band playing that. That would have been really fun.
She loves Paramore, so she wants Hayley Williams.
She does.
Oh yeah.
God. And that would be huge too, because Hayley Williams alone just has a huge following and people love, they would love that. They would eat it up. I think that would be great.
So what we're saying is more women on WrestleMania, if anyone's
more
listening.
Women at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Please hear our cries.
In wrestling and in celebrity, I just want more ladies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to keep an open mind for it. I think as long as we're not like resurrecting old, decrepit men who really shouldn't be in the ring anymore, I think it should be fun.
No, absolutely. I agree.
We'll be fine. All right. We'll be totally fine. And on that note, we should wrap that up.
Yeah.
Lo, thank you so much for being on. Thanks for chatting. We love
having
you.
Me. Aww. You guys are great.
Where can we find you?
Yes, so you can find Wrestling Winedown on any of your favorite streaming platforms. We're also on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter and Facebook at WWDCAST.
Amelia, where can we find you?
You can find me on the internet, Instagram and Twitter at daftpansy, DAFTPANSY. And maybe I'll have a Twitch at some point. I'm learning how to do it. I'm teaching myself. I'm determined to have a Twitch channel at some point.
And then you'll set up ours. Then you can set up our Twitch.
I'll set it up.
You can find me on Instagram at Al__. That's 2 underscores. Yeah. And on Twitter at Kayfabe Al. You can follow us, the show, at Kayfabe Queens on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and when Amelia figures it out, Twitch. And always on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again, Lo. It was so much fun. Have a good night.
Thank you.
I had a great time with you.
Happy WrestleMania season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Happy WrestleMania season.
Thank you.